know your states of matter, and do you know the changes that take place to change one state of matter to the next? Let's take a little look. Okay, so let's take a look at the processes where our states of matter change from one state to the next. So we've got our solid, our liquid and our gas. Now, to change from a solid to a liquid, okay, the particles will be heated. This process is known as melting, okay, and the particle arrangement will change slightly and you will end up with a liquid that can flow and move. When those particles are given more energy, okay, before they boil, they will begin to evaporate. So the process of evaporation is where the liquid becomes a gas. Now, the best example of these changes of state is water. If you think of water as we're doing it, that will really help you. Now, as well as going from a solid to a liquid and then a liquid to a gas, we can also go back the other way. So we can go from a gas to a liquid. And this is where those particles are cooled. This is known as condensing. And you will have seen this with condensation on windows and maybe on shower doors. Okay, so that's the process of the gas turning into a liquid. And then you can go from a liquid into a solid. The particles will become closer together again, okay, and that process is known as freezing. Now, these four processes you need to be aware of, and you need to know how the particles are arranged in the solid, the liquid and a gas. So within the solid, remember that the particles are all close together and touching and in a regular arrangement. In a liquid, there are some spaces between the particles and they can move. Majority are still touching, but that enables them to flow. And then in a gas, the particles aren't touching, but they have an incredible amount of energy. So they do touch, but only when they collide. Okay, so from that, it's worth remembering that evaporation will begin before the substance reaches boiling point. Once it does reach boiling point, the evaporation will happen much, much quicker. It's also worth remembering that during this process, the particles settle into the arrangement specific to each state of matter. Okay, and then finally, all of this is very general. There are different melting points and boiling points for the different substances. So it all depends on which substance we'll be talking about and looking at. And when you look at questions, assessment questions on this, they usually give you some information on the melting points and the boiling points. And quite often they'll ask you to identify whether the state of matter at that temperature is solid, liquid or gas. So it's worth you getting your head around the temperatures and the change in temperature and the processes. So whether melting's happened, whether freezing's happened, or whether there's evaporation or condensing. There'll usually be enough information in the question for you to work that out. Okay, we hope that helps and we'll see you again soon. To find out about In My Element and learn how it can help you, check out our website, which is on the screen now, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's lots more free lessons and resources available.